The wind howled like a wounded animal through the cracked windows of Emily Carter's tiny apartment, rattling the thin panes as rain lashed against them in relentless sheets. It was a fitting backdrop for the eviction notice clutched in her trembling hands, a stark white paper that felt heavier than the world itself. At 32, Emily had poured her soul into teaching the children of Willow Creek, a dusty little town in the heart of Texas where dreams often withered under the unrelenting sun. Her students' bright eyes and eager questions were her only solace, but now, with her meager salary swallowed by mounting bills and her parents long gone, she faced the abyss of homelessness. "Miss Carter, you're the best teacher ever," little Tommy had said that afternoon, hugging her legs after class. But as she packed her few belongings into a worn suitcase, Emily wondered if kindness alone could keep a roof over her head. The next morning, the sun broke through the clouds, mocking her despair with its golden warmth. Emily trudged to the schoolhouse, her faded dress clinging to her frame, thinned by skipped meals. The children greeted her with choruses of laughter, oblivious to the shadows under her eyes. Principal Hargrove pulled her aside during recess, his face etched with concern. "Emily, I heard about the apartment. Is there anything we can do?" She forced a smile, shaking her head. "I'll manage, sir. The kids need me focused." But inside, panic clawed at her chest. Where would she go? The shelter in the next town was a last resort, filled with stories that chilled her to the bone. That evening, as she sat on the school steps watching the sunset paint the plains in hues of orange and purple, a pickup truck rumbled up the dirt road. Out stepped Jack Harlan, the wealthiest rancher in Willow Creek, his broad shoulders filling a crisp denim shirt, cowboy hat tipped low over eyes that had seen too much loss. His ranch sprawled across thousands of acres, a testament to generations of hard work and oil strikes that had turned dirt into gold. But Jack wasn't there for business, he was there because of his boys, 8-year-old Luke and 6-year-old Ben, who had lost their mother to a sudden illness 2 years prior. "Miss Carter," he said, his voice gravelly yet kind, "I've been hearing about you from my sons. They say you're like a second mom to them in class." Emily stood, brushing dust from her skirt, surprised by the visit. "They're wonderful boys, Mr. Harlan. What brings you here so late?" Jack removed his hat, revealing salt and pepper hair and a face lined with quiet grief. "Call me Jack. I need to talk to you about something unconventional." He glanced at the empty schoolyard, as if the words were too heavy for open air. Emily's heart skipped. Rumors swirled about Jack's reclusive life since his wife's passing, how he buried himself in work while his sons craved the warmth only a mother could provide. Little did she know, this encounter would upend her world in ways she never imagined. Over the next few days, Emily's life unraveled further. The landlord changed the locks, leaving her to sleep in her old car parked behind the school, hidden from prying eyes. She washed in the creek at dawn, her reflection in the water a ghost of the vibrant woman she once was. Teaching became her anchor, but exhaustion crept in, making her lessons falter. The children noticed. Luke Harlan, with his mother's bright blue eyes, slipped her an apple from his lunch one day. "For you, Miss Carter. You look sad." She blinked back tears, ruffling his hair. "Thank you, Luke. You're a kind soul." Jack Harlan, meanwhile, wrestled with his own demons at the sprawling Harlan Ranch. The house, once filled with laughter, now echoed with silence broken only by the boys' playful roughhousing. Ben clung to a faded photo of his mother, whispering goodnights to it before bed. Jack had hired nannies, but none stayed, they couldn't fill the void. Watching his sons from the porch, cigar smoke curling into the night sky, he pondered the proposal forming in his mind. It wasn't born of romance, Jack's heart still belonged to his late wife, but of necessity and a spark of humanity. Emily Carter was poor, yes, but her reputation as a selfless teacher shone like a beacon. She needed a home, his boys needed love. It was practical, he told himself, but deep down, it felt like fate. Their paths crossed again at the town fair, where booths of homemade pies and carnival games drew the community together under string lights. Emily volunteered at the face painting station, her own face painted with a forced cheer. Jack approached with his sons in tow, Ben tugging at his hand. "Dad, can Miss Carter paint a horse on my cheek?" As she knelt to oblige, Jack watched her gentle touch, the way she made Ben giggle. Later, as the boys ran off to the Ferris wheel, he pulled her aside. "Emily, I have a proposition. It's bold, maybe crazy, but hear me out." Her brow furrowed, but she nodded. He explained it plainly: marry him in name, become a mother to his boys, and in return, live on the ranch with security for life. No expectations of intimacy, just companionship and care. Emily's world spun. "Mr. Harlan, Jack, this is unexpected." "Why me? I'm nobody." He met her gaze steadily. "Because you're somebody to my sons. And I've seen how this town chews up good people like you. Think about it." She walked away dazed, the proposal echoing in her mind like thunder. That night, alone in her car, she cried, not from fear, but from the glimmer of hope it ignited. But doubts crept in: was this charity? Pity? Or something more profound? The unexpected turn came the following week when a fire ravaged the schoolhouse, sparked by faulty wiring during a storm. Emily rushed to the scene, heart pounding, only to find Jack already there, directing his ranch hands to salvage what they could. Amid the ashes, she discovered a box of her students' drawings, singed but intact, including one from Luke depicting a family with a new mom. In that moment, a profound realization hit her: life wasn't about what she lacked, but what she could give. Jack's proposal wasn't just salvation, it was a chance to build something real. As weeks turned into a tentative courtship of sorts, Emily visited the ranch more often, invited under the guise of tutoring the boys. The sprawling home overwhelmed her: polished wood floors, a kitchen stocked with more food than she'd seen in months, and bedrooms that whispered of comfort. Luke and Ben warmed to her instantly, their games turning into lessons laced with affection. "Miss Carter, will you read us a story?" Ben asked one evening, curling into her side on the porch swing. She obliged, her voice steady despite the storm in her heart. Jack watched from afar, his gruff exterior cracking as he saw his sons bloom. But shadows lingered. Emily grappled with self-doubt, whispering to herself in the mirror, "You're not worthy of this." Rumors spread through Willow Creek, whispers of the poor teacher snaring the rich cowboy. One afternoon, at the general store, Mrs. Ellis sneered, "Charity case, that's what you are." The word stung, fueling an unexpected confrontation. Emily stormed to the ranch, finding Jack mending a fence. "Is this pity, Jack? Am I just a fix for your problems?" He set down his tools, his eyes softening. "No, Emily. It's respect. For your strength, your kindness. My wife, she was selfless like you. Losing her taught me life's too short for pride." That night, a profound realization unfolded during a family dinner Emily helped prepare. As they sat around the table, laughter filling the air for the first time in years, Ben spilled his milk, bursting into tears. "I'm sorry, Dad. Mom would be mad." Jack froze, but Emily knelt gently. "It's okay, sweetheart. Accidents happen. Your mom would be proud of how brave you are." In that instant, Jack saw it, the missing piece. His proposal wasn't just practical, it was healing. But Emily hesitated, her past scars deep. Orphaned young, she'd learned to rely on no one, fearing attachment meant loss. The emotional climax built during a fierce thunderstorm that mirrored the one on eviction night. Power out, the family huddled by the fireplace. Luke confessed his fears: "I miss Mom, but I don't want to forget her." Emily shared her own story, losing her parents, scraping by, yet finding purpose in teaching. "Kindness saved me," she said, voice breaking. Jack, moved, took her hand. "Emily, my sons need a loving mother, and you need a home. But more than that, we need each other. Marry me, not for pity, but for a new beginning." Tears streamed down her face as compassion flooded her, an act of generosity not just from him, but from her own heart opening. In that moment, she said yes, transforming despair into unbreakable bonds. The wedding was simple, held on the ranch under a canopy of wildflowers, with the town folk witnessing what gossip had twisted into truth, a union of hearts. Emily, in a borrowed dress, walked toward Jack, his sons beaming as ring-bearers. Vows exchanged weren't of passion, but promise, to nurture, to support, to build a family from fragments. As they kissed chastely, applause erupted, and Emily felt the weight lift, replaced by hope. In the months that followed, transformation rippled through their lives. Emily reopened a one-room school on the ranch, teaching not just the Harlan boys but children from neighboring farms, her passion reignited with resources at hand. Jack softened, joining story times and family outings, his grief easing into cherished memories. Luke and Ben thrived, their laughter a symphony that filled the once silent halls. One evening, as the sun dipped low, painting the plains in gold, Emily sat with Jack on the porch. "I never thought kindness could change everything," she whispered. He squeezed her hand. "It's the power of humanity, seeing need and stepping up. You gave us more than a mother, you gave us light." Years later, as their family grew, not with blood, but with adopted strays and community ties, Emily reflected on that eviction night. What seemed like the end was a beginning, proving that selflessness bridges divides, turning strangers into saviors. In a world often harsh, their story whispered, "Open your heart, and home finds you." And in the vast Texas sky, hope shone eternal, inspiring all who heard it to believe in the unexpected grace of compassion.